This is the bonus section podcast, episode number 76. Climb the competence hierarchy. Are you the type of person that knows you were meant for something greater in this lifetime and that somewhere inside of you there's just this bigger version trying to break through? But in spite of all your self-development attempts, you just can't seem to get the way up there? Well then, hey, you are definitely in the right place. I'm Danny Griffin, the founder of the bonus section and the host of this podcast, and a person just like you, trying to live the most self-fulfilling life possible. So to help you take immediate action to get moving in a better direction, we take all the notes from each episode and we post them for a short period of time at freethinkingtools.com. The purpose is so that you will sit still, get provoked into thinking, and write. Really, you want to become more powerful? Write. Get things out of your head. I call it catching fireflies. Reach up into your mind, pull it through your arm, out through the pen and onto paper, and write. And that will really help you get those goals clarified. It will edit out all the noise. It will begin to empower you. You'll feel better. Trust me. I'm sure you'll tell me you will if you just take that action. All right. The first point here about hierarchies. It seems to be a very controversial topic, and I keep hearing it talked about on the internet. And you hear about it in the terms of a patriarchal hierarchy, this man-driven thing, this male-dominated thing, and it has a very, very negative connotation. And I wouldn't disagree in that case. If a hierarchy like that, a dominance hierarchy, is based on sort of this male testosterone and this, this brutality and this violence, I am not for it at all, right? I don't like that, just like most of you, unless you're a sociopath listening to me, right? Or a power monger. It's no good. However, there is power in a hierarchy, and there's safety in a hierarchy. Think about this. Think about what anarchy is, where there's no rules and there's no hierarchy and there's nobody to report to. We don't want any government. We don't want any police. We don't want any of these things. And this isn't a political statement. It's just a hierarchy. It's just an observation that I'm plenty okay with a lot of the things that let me live a comfortable life being in place. In other words, safety. I'll take safety of the police and the fire department every day of the week. I mean, I've been in plenty of situations where I was really thankful that sort of safety hierarchy was in place, and that there were people that spend an enormity of time. I have a lot of friends who are in the safety business, and their children are going into the safety business. Man, I'm all for it. I root them on it. It's hard work, multiple years of studying. I mean, I love that stuff. Then I could switch over to governmental. Again, not politically, but I'm just saying about rules and regulations and laws and judicial bodies, and that's a hierarchy. We defer to those people to do those things, and I'm okay with it, presuming that it has this humanity to it, the best that it can. Of course, it's filled with corruption. There's humans everywhere. Humans are fallible. Humans make mistakes. Humans are broken, and they get into these power hierarchies, right? So whether we like it or not, life is made up of hierarchies. And I'd say this to you, where there's not a safety hierarchy in place and a governmental hierarchy in place to keep that safety in line, you tell me how that life is. I don't want to live that one. But you see, what happened was, in listening to a lot of this online, there was sort of a hard right turn into a different term. And I really, really, really liked it a lot, because it was exciting. It was an exciting hierarchy. It was one of opportunity. And the second point here is, the great news is that the competence hierarchy is climbable for anybody. So what is the competence hierarchy? Well, that's the education hierarchy, right? And again, what does that mean? Don't think just schooling, although that's a fabulous way to understand the learning process and methodology for learning. I am not a fan of the stuff I hear on the internet that can't wait to throw out school. Oh, you don't need to go to school. You don't need to go to college. You don't need to go. I don't like that. I mean, if you're going to start preaching that kind of stuff, then you need to teach somebody how to, climb that competency hierarchy in that skill set. You don't stop learning. You might not like what's going on in the standard educational world, but that's under pressure too. You can look at Ivy League schools that are beginning to offer more specific tracks for people, or any liberal arts school. But we can't wait to throw away what? Our learning about history, about mathematics, about humanities, about the arts. We want to throw that all away for what? For what? In lieu of what? Just becoming, we can't wait to make so much money online, and, we can't wait to, there we go again, getting sucked back into this weirdo dominance hierarchy, online or new business or whatever. Calm down, right? Calm down. Because a competence hierarchy is a good thing. A promotion of learning and education is a great thing. And then learning how to learn. I mean, if you can learn how to articulate your thoughts, take it from your head. You all have great thoughts. Write it down. You know how you become a great writer? You become a great writer by writing, right? I think it's William Zinzer's book on writing, or I can't remember. It's been a while. I think it's in that box right over there, close to me, right? On writing well. You don't need to do anything but climb the hierarchy, the competence hierarchy of writing by reading some books on how to write. You don't have to go to school to learn that right now. It's great, though, if you're in a humanities class or history class and they're forcing you, quote unquote, to write a paper. You have no idea how powerful that will make you, how competent that will make you. The ability to fully articulate yourself verbally, in a written form. It's unbelievably powerful. And that allows you to climb this ladder. It allows you to get your thoughts out there. I mean, look at all of you that are out there reading articles online on your phone. And you're saying, geez, this is a lousy article. Well, great. Sit down and write it and learn how to write better than that. And guess what you're climbing? The competency hierarchy, because now it's your blog, or you're the guest writer, or now all of a sudden you're a paid writer, whatever it might be, or you're a speaker. You're a paid speaker, but you read a lot, right? And you read for fun, and you read all these things. You see, all of that is accessible. Now, obviously, no, maybe not obvious because you might have never heard me speak before, but I'll say this. I have 5 kids and I am a massive believer in their education. But I did take a little bit of a different bent in that I asked them something very specific. And that's the third point here. To focus on what you really want to become more competent at. So I have asked my children since they were young, if you could do one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? And it was so that I could help them climb the competency hierarchy in that lane. So that's exactly what happened. And they're all very different. And so that's the point, is that you're matching this ladder climb with the ladder you choose. Now, obviously, when you're younger, to get that broad-based education, I'll never use this in my life. Oh, really? Really? You won't really use what? Learning how to learn? Because that's the basic premise. And stepping into things that make you a bit uncomfortable, maybe reading a Shakespeare play, where Shakespeare mastered the English language like nobody else. It's mind-boggling how much time you can take and break down one page of what this brilliant writer, an articulator of thought, wrote down, and how it the pentent, I can't even remember. I got to go back and read it, right? The iamber pentantic, you'll get it before I will. But to go in there and listen to the rhythm of the words. And I know you'll say, oh, it's so hard to read, dude. I don't want, right? What? Just read it and just get what you can from it. That challenges you. That grows your brain. That makes you think. Even if you take a little snippet, even if you get a little bite of it, right? Iambic pentameter. There it is. It was back there somewhere. Iambic pentameter. I'm going to get out of Dodge before I stumble over that one, right? But that's the point, is it challenges you to be a thinker, so that when you're selling real estate, when you're writing a film, when you're acting in one, when you're doing social media and you're writing these small little snippets, right? When you're hostessing at a restaurant, you're just more articulate. You're more engaging. You start to climb the ladder of life too. You start to get paid more. You start to get more freedom. All of these things happen because you're getting more competent and you're climbing this. I mean, that's the problem, is that you end up focusing on too much else. And that's the bonus section here, right? The bonus section of the bonus section podcast today is, during this climb, will you please stop comparing where you're at to others and just keep climbing? It's just stunning how quickly you will talk yourself out of doing anything because you see somebody else, and your perception is that how great they are, and how incredibly self-defeating that process is to look at somebody and you don't even know their circumstances. There's so much phony in the world today, and so much, pretend and lying and deceit, because people are so insecure and so sociopathic, and it's so out there that you believe that all of these people are living these glamorous lives because they're taking pictures in front of a Lamborghini that they don't even own, or, they have a trumped up relationship, whatever it is, right? Stop comparing yourself to anybody else, because look, even if you have a good mentor and that's somebody that you want to emulate, it's great, but you don't really know, and they can't really explain to you how their climb was, because it's filled with all of their own little steps and fallbacks on that ladder as they became more and more competent over time. And I know it's equipped to say it's all about the journey that makes this exciting, but that's very true. It's about your journey, and the journey actually has a label. It's called life. It's your life. And I think one of the most satisfying things when you're climbing this competency hierarchy is that when you look back and compare yourself to an older version of yourself, it's stunning how quickly and how much greater you become that version of yourself that you always wanted. It's stunning. But every time that you kind of look around at the ladder, guess what you're doing? You're looking at somebody else's ladder and you stop climbing. And worse, all of a sudden you're looking at them and you try to take another step up and you fall down. And now you're at the bottom of the ladder, or at least you have the sense that you're there. You see what I mean? Who cares what everybody else is doing? And I know when you're younger, if you're listening to this and you're young, I know it does seem like it matters. I know you think you have to complete everything in a half hour, because I did. I thought I was going to conquer the world in a half hour. Instead of just sitting down, slowing down, and thinking about, what do I really want to do? And what would it really take me to be competent in that arena? And why don't I just start at least by reading a book? Back in my day, you couldn't just, pick up the phone and start learning. I am telling you, I am a lunatic learner right now. Ask any of my kids. They will laugh and tell you, yes, I'll just keep saying, Google this, Google that. Good. My 80-year-old mother, she Googles more than I do. She reads more books than I do. Right? It's just this competency hierarchy that's so much fun to climb, that if you're young and you would just embrace this and relax into it, my goodness, could you achieve so many wonderful things in your life that you individually and personally can be happy with, okay? Let me go back and say, hey, climb the competency hierarchy. And the points in this one today were, like it or not, life is made up of hierarchies. Yes, some of them have some ugly components to them, but hierarchies are the way we keep structured in life. But the second point is, the great news is the competence hierarchy is climbable for anybody. It's not the good old boys network or the guys versus the gals or anybody that, is in any walk of life or any sexual orientation or any color. You can't be stopped from climbing this ladder. You can't be. Because it's available for all of us. Third, focus on what you really want to become more competent at. That will help you choose the ladder to start climbing. And the bonus section of the bonus section podcast this week is, stop comparing where you're at in that climb to other people and just keep climbing, because it's your life that you're climbing towards better. Okay? I'll summarize it by saying, although many people criticize the existence of societal hierarchies, they are a simple fact of the human condition. Although many hierarchies come with a negative dominance component, the great news is that the competency hierarchy is completely available for anyone to climb. The best way to advance is to focus on becoming more competent at what you love to do, and don't compare yourself to others, and just keep climbing. All right, remember, you can take immediate action to get moving towards your goals. because we take all the notes from each episode and we post them for a short period of time at freethinkingtools.com. freethinkingtools.com. We give you instant access to that. You just pop in there, you download an episode, you sit down in your quiet place, and you write. You write good questions to yourself. What do I really want to become more competent at would be a good one off of this podcast. Also, don't forget, of course, you can subscribe to the podcast, which I would appreciate, on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen. And we also are going to do a lot more on YouTube, so keep your eyes open for my personal brand, for Danny Griffin. I'm going to put stuff under there on YouTube and do more video. But you can also, of course, find the bonus section channel on YouTube as well. We'd also appreciate it if you would join our mission of becoming people for others and share our content with people just like you so they get the help that they need. But remember this, we sign off the same way every time. What do we say, folks? Nobody's coming for you. Nobody. So go get to work on yourself and a better plan for your goals, and we'll see you in the next episode to help you do just that. Thanks again.